Well, good morning and welcome back to Up with Krem. Well, recently, Spokane City Council member Michael Cathcart invited big Seattle businesses to move to Spokane. Now, this was after the Seattle City Council passed a payroll tax. Companies will need to pay a tax for every employee making more than $150,000 per year. Now, Council member Cathcart is joining us now to talk about his proposal. So, one, thank you so much for being with us this morning, Council member, and tell us a little bit more about this proposal. What are the selling points?
Well, yeah, I'm just trying to reach out to businesses over in the Seattle area and just share with them how great our community is and why it's so competitively better, we think, than the city of Seattle. You know, we've got in our city charter actual protections in place for taxpayers, things that require supermajority votes of the city council to raise taxes or votes of the people. Just last year, 72% of the citizenry voted to add a charter amendment that actually bans all forms of local income taxes, which we think puts us at a great competitive advantage. And frankly, we saw that, you know, this sort of thing was coming. And so I think, you know, that was part of the motivation for trying to put some of those protections in our city charter. But beyond that, I mean, we have a low cost of living. We've got, you know, relatively short commute times. I mean, we are just such I think, a better community, well positioned to attract some of these businesses that are just getting hammered by the city government over in the city of Seattle. And I think we can do a heck of a better job than they are.
Now, what type of businesses are we looking at here? Are we looking at the Boeings, the Microsofts of the world? Are we looking at startups? What's the goal?
Well, my goal is I just want to see a big increase in our living wage jobs. You know, we've got this a large territory of land in Northeast Spokane in my district, often referred to as the Yard or the Northeast Public Development Authority. And we just have these large tracts of available land for industrial or commercial uses. And I think we can attract some manufacturers, some tech folks in there, in addition to areas around our university district, not to mention out around the airport. So we have a ton of available land, some in the urban core, some outside of that area, to attract all different types of businesses. And, you know, we really want to see, I think, a big increase in living wage jobs right here in our community to help increase, you know, the median household income right here. I mean, that's a big goal.
You know, I recently talked to leaders with Greater Spokane Incorporated, and they were talking about infrastructure for Spokane. And in the areas that you mentioned, we do have a lot of space, but they said what we're missing is the basic infrastructure, the sewer, the water hookups, things like that. Is Spokane ready to host one of these big companies?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, I think those investments can be made and are being made. And the great thing about the Northeast Public Development Authority, I'm the vice chair of that entity. And one of the great things is when we recruit employers in, 75% of the tax revenue that they generate gets reinvested right into that area for more infrastructure. So we can just keep building upon ourselves and really building up this area that really desperately needs these living wage jobs. So I don't think the investments are going to be a deterrent. I think we can make those happen. We just need to get the employers here to look at our community and I think once they come and take a look at all the opportunities that are here, I think they'll give us a real look.
Well, so far, have you had any takers?
What was that?
So far, have you had any takers? Have any businesses expressed interest in the proposal?
You know, nobody yet. You know, my letter just went out, and I'm looking to actually distribute that letter to various businesses in the Seattle area there that are going to be affected by this. And so that's part of my effort right now, is just to get it in front of them.
All right. Well, Council member Michael Cathcart, thank you so much for joining us this morning. Of course, we'll be tracking this proposal. And of course, if you hear it from anyone, certainly let us know. All right.
Absolutely.
It is.
For sure.
All right, Michael, thank you. 6:53 now. You're watching Up with Krem here on our Thursday morning. We'll be right back.